Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of learning Discord.js and Node and stuff. What you're gonna do first is you're gonna go into Visual Studio Code and you're gonna wanna open that folder that you created. So my first Discord bot, and here we have all the files, package log.json. I usually just delete that. And here's our app.js, which is basically where all the code we're gonna put is gonna be. And this is going to be your best friend throughout everything. Discord.js.org, though every single thing. Honestly, Discord.js has the most beautiful documentation I've ever seen anything ever have out of everything. And so now basically, this is how you make your bot. You want to go to discordapp.com/developers/applications. And then here, let's create a bot. Let's call it my first Discord bot. Let's give it a, you know, a profile picture. And then I went through that so quick. But basically, you just want to click, I'm going to click the create bot user and then create it. Hey, look, my discriminator is almost 1337, but it's 3137. And basically, once you've created your bot, you've created a bot, technically. It doesn't do anything. It isn't on any servers. It doesn't even log in. But this is your bot. And everything, logging into your bot is all going to be done through this token right here, which you should never share with anyone. I'm going to reset the token after this tutorial so you guys can't see it. And also, your token shouldn't be in the same file as your app.js file. I usually like to make a config.json file, and then we're gonna just put some basic JSON inside of it. So we're gonna make the token that, and I like to put the prefix in here as well. So for our bot, let's just make it m dot, for example. So like m dot help or m dot ping will respond with pong, and we're just gonna start requiring our modules here. And this right here, I forgot the name of it, where you require just a little bit of just a little piece of the module, but basically we're just gonna need the client from Discord.js, so we're gonna put it in parentheses or curly brackets, and then it's basically gonna extract the client from Discord.js. If you see here, if we go into src index.js, here where it says client, it's just going to require that client. Everything else is just going to be left out for now because we don't need that. So now we're going to make a bot user equal to a new client. And here, I'll just explain a little. Const is what's used to define a constant variable that will not be changed throughout the whole program. And client is just what we're extracting from the Discord.js module by requiring it. And then bot is going to be our new client, which we haven't done anything with the client. We haven't logged into it or anything. And also we're going to require CFG, so that's just like what I like to call all my config files, as // to refer to the current directory. Because if you don't start it with / and you do like config.json, is going to try to look for a module called config.json inside of the node modules folder. But if you start it with // that refers to the current directory, or if you do // that refers to one directory up. And once we have that, if we go here and console.log our CFG, it's just going to give us our token and our prefix in console. Let me just, inside of VS Code and Visual Studio Code, you could just hit Control and tilde, but I'm not going to use that just because you might not be using VS Code. Let's go to our desktop, go to my first Discord bot, right click, shift right click like I told you to do in the last episode, and just run nodemon. You don't even need to include nodemon app.js if you've created a package.json, because it knows that it's the app.js file. And as you can see, it logged our config just like it is in here, just slightly differently formatted. And now if we now we're gonna start using our these are all the three only variables you're gonna need in the global scope. Everything else is gonna be inside of a event listener. So bot.on ready. This initiates every time the bot is ready. And if you don't know what this is an arrow function that was introduced in ES6. and this is on, which is from the event emitter, which is a default like module supplied with Node.js. You can search it up, event emitter. As you can see here, this it supplies the on method, as you can see. On wants all these methods because if you look inside the code real quick, you can see that client extends the event emitter, so it basically just adds on to the event emitter. So oh yeah, and here where you call, basically all of your variable names for the most part are completely up to you. So you could call this const client equals new client, and then go down here and just do client.on, and it will work perfectly fine. But I just like to call it bot because it's shorter by 2 characters, easier to type and stuff like that. Now, whenever the bot's ready, I'm just gonna want to console log that the bot's, I'm ready, you know? If we go into here, into our console, okay, there we go. It restarted automatically. As you can see, it didn't say I'm ready because we didn't log in the bot. At the bottom of the file, we're just gonna want to put bot.login cfg.token. It's basically just taking cfg and then using dot notation, which is like, it's shorthand for this, because this is annoying. So you just want to do cfg.token, and I'm ready. The bot's actually logged in. If we take the bot, like if we take this client ID right here, and then we go to this link, which I'll leave in the description, don't worry about that. Basically this link, and then you're going to want to replace this with whatever your client ID is, your bot's ID, and then you're just going to put it in your server, captcha, whatever. So now, once you've done this, basically your bot, it's on your server, you know? You've created a very basic bot. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't respond to anyone, but it's a bot nonetheless. So now let's do some stuff, you know? Let's handle a message event, which is what every bot basically does. So bot.onMessage, we're gonna take that message, and we're gonna define it as MSG. So whatever you name this doesn't matter, just like all variable naming. So when the bot sends a message, we're gonna take that MSG, and then we're gonna console log message.content for now, so the content that the message contains. And as you can see, our bot restarted here. And here, if we just say hi inside of our console, it's gonna say hi. That's fun and all, but not useful at all. So what you're gonna start with in your message event is some checking, because if let's say your bot if your bot has a help command, and then when you send the help command, the bot says help, and then it responds to itself and does help over and over again in a constant loop, that can cause your bot to infinitely loop, and it could get API banned for using the API, for, you know, it'll get rate limited basically. So what we want to do is check if the message author is a bot, or, which is what these two tall L's mean, or if the message content, we're gonna start it if the message content doesn't start with our prefix, cfg.prefix, we're just gonna return, and then down here we'll console log message content again. And if we go back into here, let me just drag this aside. If we go back into here, we type hi, it's not gonna console log it. But if we type m.hi, I console logged it all the way over here because I just resized it. But yeah, because it returns, so basically it just stops everything and just exits this whole scope basically. So this is also going to be used, these if statement, if return, they're going to be used a lot for error, or I don't know, checking, because as I've heard from another tutorial where someone was teaching C++, it was the guy that made a robot point a laser to his face. You just have to assume that everyone that's using your bot is an absolute dick and is trying their best to get the bot to crash. So first off, we're gonna make an argument we're gonna get our args from the bot. So we're gonna do const args equals message.content dot slice by the cfg dot prefix dot length. And what this does is that if you have a message that is that's m dot help, it's basically just gonna completely remove that m and just make the whole thing help. Let's just do 1 2 for now. Right, those are gonna be our imaginary arguments. And now we're gonna do dot split by every space. So this is gonna turn that split is gonna turn help 1 2 into just you know, help comma, oh god, 1 and 2. Let me just not comment these out. So then it's gonna turn it into an array of these 3 things because they were split by the spaces in between them. And you basically have, that's all you need for args. If you want to make this a little better, you're just gonna want to use a regex. So if you do slash space and then plus slash, this, let's say someone does this, like just a ton of spaces, and it's gonna turn into this. But regardless, instead of just doing a ton of spaces, like if it just does that, instead of doing that, it's just gonna remove all those spaces. And that's the point of that plus. Now that's our arguments, because we still have the help command inside of it, but how we're gonna remove that help command is we're gonna define command equals args dot shift. And here, the little snippet here, it says removes the first element from an array and returns it. So yeah, if we just do args dot shift, then our array is just gonna completely remove the help, and now our command is just gonna equal help. And just so that the commands aren't case sensitive, we're gonna make let's say our help, we made it capital, we're gonna use dot to lowercase right here, and that's gonna turn our help into help. As the name implies, it turns it into a lowercase. And so now, if we log our, let's say we want to console log those args, right? Args is the args, and new line, our command is that command. Now if we go back into here and back to Discord, right? What the heck? Now we go here. Let's type m.high 1 2. As you can see, args is 1 and 2, and the command is high. That's basically your argument handler. Now let's take that and fuck up our console. Whatever. Let me just stop the bot and run it again. Okay, but yeah. So let's just so here in our in our ready event, I usually just like to make that message a little nicer, like logged in as the bot user tag. So it'll be in our case, it's gonna be my first Discord bot 3137. And as always, just look up everything, dude. It's all here, all of it. If you go to user tag, it has the tag for them. So that's the name followed by the discriminator. And logged in as bot user tag, and then we're in parentheses. I like to put bot user ID. If you don't know what the ID is, you need to have users in user settings, go to appearance, and make sure you have developer mode on. Here, if we right click copy ID, we get the ID of the bot. So that's what it's gonna log the ID of the bot. And here we can type on, and then how many servers the bot's on, bot.guilds.size. So size, because if you use like arrays, you're usually used to length, but in JavaScript's new map, kind of new JavaScript map here, because what Discord uses is it uses a collection. If I can see it somewhere, what the heck? hello, collection, here, collection. Here it says it extends map, so basically it's just, it adds on. It says, this is the description: a map with additional utility methods. This is used throughout Discord.js rather than arrays for anything that has an ID for significantly improved performance and ease of use. And so here's all your map methods, basically. And here it has the properties, map.property.size. So you're gonna bot.guilds. If we log just bot.guilds, for example, let me comment this out. Console.log bot.guilds. We're gonna get a big message here. We're gonna get this. So this is the ID followed by the actual, excuse me, followed by the actual guild info. So here are the members of the guild. Here are the channels. Oh yeah, and my bot is actually in 2 guilds because I accidentally added it to the other one. So yeah, here's the guild that we're in. As you can see, the name of the guild somewhere. If I wasn't blind. Oh, here it is. Name, Dims testing server. And so now, let's just comment this out on bot.guilds.size servers. So now, if we run the bot, it's gonna say something like logged in as my first Discord bot 3137, followed by the ID of the bot on 2 servers, which is a very nice message. And I also like to do bot.user.setGame, which sets the game status to like something like cfg.prefix help, and then followed by bot.user.guilds.size. Wait, no, just bot.guilds.size. Bot.guilds.size servers. And if we go back to Discord, it says here playing m.help 2 servers. The very nice message that you see on a lot of bots. And now let's just make a basic ping pong command and then I'll end the tutorial. So we're gonna do if command equals triple equals to compare type of and the actual content. If the command is ping, message.reply pong, right, pong. And here we can just do m.ping. I think oh yeah, m.ping. Okay, because the issue there was that we did the command before the bot was even logged on, so it didn't register that command. So as you can see, it replies to us with pong. But please don't use reply. There's some situations where you want to use reply, but most of the time you want to use message, and then you want to get the channel property of the message, and then you want to use the send of it. And look at this incredible documentation. You're gonna eventually see how you're supposed to read through this. Like, for example, if we're sending an embed, it's gonna use an object. It takes either the rich embed or an object, and here it includes all of this information. It's very helpful, these little snippets you see. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. And so if we do message channel.send pong, because when you do dot reply, it does it mentions the user followed by a comma followed by the message that you included. So if we do m.ping again, pong, there we go, very simple. Let's say we want the bot to test how long it took to send that message. We're gonna do message.channel.send pinging, and because oh wait, oops, dot then, because the message event or the send method, it returns a promise. If you can see here, returns, yeah, here it returns a promise. So we can take that, we're gonna do dot then m, and that's the message that was just sent. So for example, in this message, it's defining this message, but when we do m, it's gonna define this message. And so we're gonna take that m, and we're gonna do this, very nice arrow functions. So we're gonna take the message, and then we're gonna m.edit. I feel like throwing up, I don't even know, man, one sec. So we're gonna define up here, we're gonna define a new day, so, or in milliseconds. So let's say we go to our JavaScript console. which it's not letting me do. F12. Hello? Okay, never mind. Let's say we go to our JavaScript console right here. If we do date.now, it returns our current date, our current milliseconds from the beginning of epoch time, whatever. And then if we do date.now again, it's a slightly later time than this one. So like, you know, just do that minus that. It was 70, it took me 7.5 seconds between, you know, both of those. So what we're gonna do is const date, const then equals date.now. It's gonna send the message, and then it's gonna do message. It's gonna edit the message to say Pong. It took. It'll be date.now minus then. It took that many milliseconds to send that message. Now if we go back, we do oops, wrong Discord. m.ping. For a second there it said pinging, and then it said Pong. It took 327 milliseconds to send that message, which is a really long time. What the heck? Yeah, okay. You're usually gonna get used to times of around like 50 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds if you have decent internet. Yeah, 84 milliseconds. And also, if you want to get the actual ping of the bot, we're just gonna do /n, the ping that you usually see on Discord if you connect to a voice channel. And I don't have a voice channel, just give me a second. If we connect to it, as you can see, it says 22 milliseconds. That's the normal ping that we have. So to get that actual ping of the bot, we're just going to create a new line. It's actually called heartbeat, your heartbeat to Discord, whatever. Discord heartbeat, and then we're going to do bot dot heartbeat, right? Or just bot dot ping, I can't remember, whatever. Let's see, ping, right? Ping. Client hashtag ping. And so we're just going to do bot.ping. Oh yeah, here it says client.ping is a number. I keep going to the wrong one. So if we do m.ping, it says there Discord heartbeat 65, but it should actually just be 65 milliseconds. Or it just says 65, but it should be 65 milliseconds. So if we do for the last time m.ping, bang, we have Pong. It took 227 milliseconds to send that message. Discord heartbeat 34 milliseconds. That's it for this tutorial. Hope to see you in the next one. See you.